Okay, so here we got a question, right? So, what's the difference between Belize and the government of Belize? Obviously, this is two entities, but let's just expand on it a little bit, right? So, let's say there's this person right here, this individual, and he wants to donate $1 million. And in his belief, he wants it to go to Belize. He says, I want this $1 million to go to Belize, and he writes a check and donates it to Belize. But let's say there's another guy. He says, you know what, I want to donate $1 million, but I want it to go to the government of Belize, right? And again, it could be money, $1 million, or it could be land, whatever. So despite what happens, right? What's happening is that there's a transfer of property, whatever the property is, from here to there, right? So now the property, when received over here, what's going to happen is that it's going to be basically go to Belize and be held in Belize as a trust. It's a property held in trust, and the name of the trust is called Belize. So what the trust is the embodiment of all properties of Belize, all of it, right? Whatever has Belize on it, then Belize can claim it, and it has rights. Obviously, it has titles, interests. All of it is right here in Belize. It's in trust. So now, this is one body, right? And this body, anything registered in this body, or anything registered in Belize or of Belize, any registry of Belize is a property held in trust. So everything, because if this is donated, this has to be, recorded and possibly even registered, right? So the government of Belize is the body of trustees with duties and obligations within the trust agreement, which is the Constitution. So it's the body of people acting as trustees over the properties, and having rights, titles, and interests thereof. And so these trustees, they have duties and obligations within the trust agreement, and it's towards all the properties being utilized as assets to create funding, or to create, flow of money, and to create capital gains or whatever, to pay interest. They can get as creative as they want with the assets, as with the properties. However they want, they can use it legally, obviously, right? So therefore, these trustees right here are obligated in their agreement. So everything registered to Belize or donated to Belize, there depends how it was conveyed to them, right? So maybe he wants to donate this to the government of Belize, but only for a certain amount of time, until it can be used for the benefit of somebody else or some other person, right? So it depends how these properties are conveyed, are given. So if he just registers a property without saying anything, right? So then this is accepted, and then this goes into the public trust. But if he wants to convey something privately to them, so he does a private trust, right? So it depends how the trust is expressed, right? So these properties that they're taking care of, they're also administrating a lot of these properties as they're administrating the properties as assets of estates, including abandoned estates. So everybody lawfully has an estate, right? Anything that comes out of your body, anything you produce, anything you create, you lawfully have the right to claim that as part of your estate, right? So even if you have intellectual property or a song, but you can claim anything that comes out of you, and you put it into your estate, right? So if you don't make any claims, don't worry, they will claim it for you, and they'll put it in a public trust, right? But if you want, you can claim it and put it in your private trust, right? Therefore, there's a difference, right? So if something gets donated, conveyed, or even sold, it's the same thing. If you look at the definition of purchase in the Securities Industries Act, you'll be really impressed with what that definition says of purchase. But anyway, so here, that's the difference right here. So Belize is like the title of the trust. That's why it's called Belize constitution. So it's the title. The constitution is the trust. So this right here, Government of Belize, is just a body of trustees, right? And that's a corporation, right? So that corporation should be acting as trustees under the trust, and depending how the people express the conveyance of properties or the acquisitions of securities, depends how that occurs, then it'll be determined how they're going to utilize it for the benefit of who, right? Until then, if you haven't made a claim, it's all just abandoned. So there's the difference.